So this is the left-hand part of the black and white rag. You can't play any ragtime without having that left hand on autopilot. So let's just go through it step by step using the chords of D7 and G7 to get started, because black and white rag is in that key, and many other ragtimes use D7 and G7 and C, very simple keys. So first of all, you have to get used to, and you need to do this for hours and hours until it becomes second nature, little finger on the D. You always use little fingers on the white notes, and you'll probably find it's useful to play the black notes with your ring finger. We're going to do octaves later, but you'll see that the ring finger on the black notes does help. So first of all, get used to playing that stride from a D up to a D major triad. We'll add the 7 later. Don't try and get it in time yet. Just learn what that feels like. And then try it on the G. Just to a G major triad. I'm not doing anything with rhythm. I'm just getting the feel. Notice the fingering I'm using. I'm not using my ring finger for any of the chords. Then you'll start to take it up to a bit of a speed. When you're playing ragtime, I've noticed, and I've seen it in players that play ragtime very well, probably 70% of the time they're actually looking to the left just to make sure that they're not missing that stride, because the right hand patterns are actually quite easy, and your hand doesn't move around too much in the right hand in ragtime. It's just kind of a very fixed, it's that kind of thing that we're going to talk about, in the next part. So you will be able to look at the left hand when you're playing this stuff. You still need to get it right. So this is the first part. You're just doing the simple bass and major triad. So the next thing I would say would be to play the third instead of the bass on the second time around. Meaning, so the third of D is F sharp and the third of G is B. So you'll play D in the bass and then F sharp in the bass. I know I'm using my little finger here because I'm not doing an octave. Maybe get used to using the ring finger. Because this happens all the time in ragtime. And by the way, I'm using a pedal as well. Maybe you don't have to worry about the pedal too much. Ragtime kind of sounds good without the pedal anyway, because it's a very staccato kind of sound most of the time. But if you're interested, I'm playing the pedal so I'm depressing it like now, up, and then like down on there, and then up. So I'm playing it on the bass note, then lifting it up off the chord. So it stops after the chord, but stays down. That's why I need the pedal. To sustain that sound, so I come up to the chord, then it stops. There's a silence because the right hand's doing stuff. Press it, lift it up with the chord. If you're curious about that, but don't worry about that maybe just yet. So just see if you can get that. And then on G, of course, it's going to be on the B, but often you'll be playing it with the fifth. So we'll try it with both. So you'll play it with the D, and you can go above, like I am, or below, which is a little bit more common. There's quite a big reach that you have to get used to it if you want to play ragtime. There's no way around it, unfortunately. Oh, I missed one. We'll come up to the D, and then try it with the B. You're not really going to go down like that. You're not really going to go up to the 3. But you can go down to the 5. So see how I'm not really missing the notes because I'm so used to it. I've done it so many, many times. Like that. Now, let's just put in a little passing tone, and I'll just see how it goes. So that happens a lot also in ragtime. You get these semitone drops, also rise as well, but to do a semitone drop. So that's going to take a couple of hours, a couple of weeks to really get into your fingers, I guess. Maybe even a couple of days if you do it a lot. The next thing to do would be to do it with octaves. Closed octaves, meaning they're not open. That's going to come later. So, exactly the same thing, but with an octave in the left hand. And when you're actually playing, your hand will just naturally, sometimes you'll play a bass note normally, but you might do an octave on the third. So, double, up to the D chord, double, up to the D7. And it's like a butterfly, it's like a pulsation, it's like a lung. So it's open, closes, opens out, closes in, even if you're playing the 7. Opens out, closes in, opens out, closes in. Hopefully you can literally see my hand expanding, and coming in. Pedal still applies in exactly the same way. I'm taking it off just after I play the chord, if curious. Go to G. I'll go down to the D, like that. So you can really see how this has to be on autopilot, otherwise there's no way you can play the right hand, because your brain will be thinking about all of this so much. But really, try it with a metronome, find a comfortable speed, and just get used to this. I'm doing exactly what I've just shown you. Octave, 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 octave. So when you, like for example, in I know this is a black and white rag tutorial. Well, I was going to say with the maple leaf rag, but I'll do it with the black and white. You see, you're doing exactly that. So let's just try and do that with the 7th on top, the C, and that just, it wants to be played. When you're playing a D chord, the thumb is just there. It's like, well, it's on the C, on the 7th, or even when you're on the G. The thumb is just there, wanting to play that 7. So why not just let it play it? It's almost more brain power to remove it from the keyboard than just keep it there and play the 7th. So that shouldn't be seen as a complication. It's just there. And then just get used to mixing it around a little bit, moving with that octave bass movement. I should have gone back down. That's the D. You can kind of do any left-hand pattern really, etc. So really play around with all that, and hopefully it will come together. Now, the next thing to do with the left hand is to play open octaves. The pedal still stays down from the first note that you touch, down, up, down on the first one, and then off. So, exactly the same thing, do that on the G, and you can descend as well, like you would on there. You can come up like that, of course, but it just kind of, why not get descend as well? It's a mixing and matching. You get the idea, hopefully. So sometimes you're going to keep it closed, open, open, closed. Absolutely your choice. They all sound very, very nice. No one's going to be listening in such a way that they care that you're ascending or descending in an open or playing it closed. Absolutely, it's almost imperceptible, really. So it's almost the same thing. You really can't really hear the difference. It's just a feeling. So get used to that. Okay, so with that down, of course the next part is in the right hand, but I just want to say, just get used to playing a chord without the 7, because it's octave melody. You put the D chord, like built up, F sharp and A, but you play like this. You play the 3rd in the octave, 3rd 5 octave, third octave. And if you could just put that with the left hand in one place, that's going to help you. I'll show you, of course, in the right hand in the next video, but just to hear it, you start on that. So, down here. So that's how it sounds, but we're going to focus a lot more on the right hand in the next part. So yeah, there you go. You can play anything you want in the right hand. Do that. So that's quite nice. Now there's two other shapes you're going to need to know in different keys, which is E, 7, and A minor 7. You can do it in, like, that's a common position to use. Or you can do it in the root position. You'll probably never play in this position or in that position. Just root position, or this second inversion, it's called EGAC. Because it's just right there under the fingers. You don't need to come all the way up here. They're absolutely your choice. Sometimes you do, sometimes you'll play here. That's it. So try and mix all those, the D and the G and the E and the A. The A is minor, so D, not in any order. I'm not timing, I'm not counting, I'm just playing it randomly for the practice to demonstrate. Sometimes I'm opening, sometimes I'm descending. Now I'm going to go up to the E. That's the third of E, the G sharp. Now A minor. The fifth of A minor is E, so when you're playing the A, you can drop down to the E like that as a bass note while you're playing the A minor 7 chord. So they are the 4 chords you'll need in this song. So just get used to playing circles like that. Go from D to E to G to A in no particular order. It's absolute left-hand workout. That's all there is to really say on this with these chromatic connections. You can hear the tensions, and you can really move any way you want with this. Like literally, you just almost move around to any note. And it kind of somehow works because it's in context of that nice ragtime stride style. So that should be enough for the left hand. Studying the right hand as well is obviously going to come together. Then you apply it to the song. So we're doing this step by step. So let's move over to the right hand.